When I was a child, my mother never talked to me about what menstruation was and what it was about to have my first periods. I never got the insight of what it might be. At the meager age of 12, how do you expect a girl to know about what bodily changes she is about to go through? Hello everyone, I am Ganini from DLEX Doctrum. I am here to discuss the shortage of sanitary napkins due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On a morning, I woke up and there was blood down the place where I was sleeping. I panicked and called my mother, petrified about what it was. Was I about to die? The only thing that kept on ringing in my mind back then. My mother pacified me and told me to freshen up. And then she taught me how to use a sanitary napkin. She told me that I was about to go through a lot of drastic changes. That I was about to go through stomach aches during this 5 to 7 days. It may happen or it may not happen. Now when I ponder back, why did my mother not mention these happenings when at least I would have been prepared for the changes I was about to go through? I belong to a privileged family and an educated family. I studied in an ICC school throughout my life. Neither the school nor my parents thought it necessary to discuss it with me. Being a privileged one is not able to get access to menstrual education. What about those underprivileged ones? What about those poor, socially and educationally backward class people who don't even have access to sanitary napkins and use clothes and dirty rags during the menstrual flow? Do their mothers speak of it or let them know about what changes they're about to go through? Why is it considered as a hush-hush affair? The World Menstrual Hygiene Day commenced with a reverting theme, periods in pandemic, raising the exigent issue of menstrual hygiene amidst the outbreak of the COVID-19, a pandemic which has crippled the entire globe. However, it is extremely petrifying and alarming that millions of women in India, especially those belonging to the rural areas as well as to the economically deprived class, are facing paucity of sanitary napkins and are therefore compelled to seek unhygienic alternatives such as dirty pieces of clothes or rag. In the wake of COVID-19, the factories, the manufacturing units, as well as the various modes of transportation have come to a standstill due to the nationwide lockdown, thus causing a paucity in the manufacture, distribution and availability of sanitary napkins. A survey found that post-COVID-19, 69% of partner organizations have had to pause normal operations. 62% respondents stated that in the communities they work with, access from regular channels for consumers has become challenging, and 22% organizations report that there is no access to menstrual products. The WHO Constitution envisages in it the highest attainable standard of health as a fundamental right to every individual and mandates the state to support the right to health. Furthermore, in an attempt to fortify the basic human rights, the Article 25 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights 1948 states that as a right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, medical care and necessary social services. Thus, the international law lucidly determines right to health as an inherent human right, while adequate sanitation as well as accessibility without discrimination is one of its underlying determinants. The domestic law also envisages right to health as a constitutional mandate under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, guaranteeing right to life and personal liberty. The Supreme Court of India, in a plethora of judgments, has indicated right to health as a fundamental right incorporated under Article 25, thus imposing an obligation on the state to safeguard the right to life of every person, since preservation of human life is of paramount importance. Even the directive principle of state policy, envisaged in Part 4 of the Constitution, imposes a duty upon the state under Article 38 to secure social order for the promotion of welfare of the people, which is unattainable without public health. Additionally, Article 47 also spells out the duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and standard of living of its people as a primary responsibility. The Supreme Court in numerous cases has given the right to health as a basic right. Still, where is the government implementing it? Has the SABLA program, which was to take care of nutrition of adolescents, girls and impart life skill education as well as take care, checkup and health education, has it been successfully implemented? I definitely don't think so. The Suvidha Sanitary Napkin Scheme, which provides napkin at an affordable price of Rs 2.50 per pad at Jana Aushadhi Kendras across India. Are the qualities of the pads good? Do they provide a maximum 5 to 6 hours of heavy absorption? The girls usually who don't even have money, they prefer buying store-provided sanitary napkins rather than those being made available to them by the government. Why is it so? Just announcing ambitious schemes won't help the society. They need to be implemented and followed up thoroughly. Advertising still does not help when you don't make people understand the need of it and why it should be used. Women are not comfortable to buy them, especially in the rural areas, where the shopkeepers are not given adequate knowledge about the product and hence a safe environment is not created for the buying of sanitary napkins. Giving a national award to Padman alone won't help the issue. The film needs to be shown at all stratas of the society and the people should be made aware and explained of. It's not a taboo, it's the rights of the woman. Did the government think of all the frontline workers working during the COVID and still menstruating? Because we do it all the time. We menstruate on an average of 5 days a month and for 12 months till we attain menopause. Why is it not mentioned under essential items during the lockdown when women of the age group of 12 to 40 need it? Is it not a basic need for the woman? It's an essential item, an item of daily use, just like medicine, food, water, etc. Has the government thought about all those before regarding it as an unnecessary item? Or has it been thinking that it's an item of luxury, just like it had done with a 12% GST slab on it at the beginning? Sanitary napkins and unnecessary? Can any woman imagine this? How can we forget about those girls and women who solely depend on the Anganwadis and the NGOs and school to provide them with the sanitary napkins? Should there not be any provision made for them? Should they not be supplied the essential items? Should they not be given enough education or understanding so that they could use tampons or menstrual cups rather than resorting to unhealthy practices like clothes and rags? Or rather being infected by toxic shock syndrome, which can potentially kill them if they're not careful with their menstrual hygiene. The same goes with the women migrating workers. Has anybody taken care of the needs? Has anybody provided them with the necessary facility to maintain their dignity? Or they're just left like that at the mercy of God? Only helping them to travel back to the native place won't help them. They don't get to earn the bread and butter. Forget about them trying to buy sanitary napkins and being hygienic. And further, the common bathrooms of the quarantine centers, do they have the proper facilities and do they provide the proper cleanliness? Or in short, can we just say that it's a pandemic, let's stop bleeding? Can the girls have a power in this? No, we definitely don't have, and we can't let that happen to us. Recently, few days ago, a PIL was filed seeking an order to declare sanitary napkins as an essential commodity and start its distribution throughout the public distribution system along with other essential commodities. It has also highlighted the above mentioned issues and the need of the migrant workers to have access to the sanitary napkins and an added hygienic and proper menstruation management system which would involve easy access to hygienic absorbents, availability of facilities for cleaning and disposal of used absorbents or waste with privacy and dignity. They have also sought proper implementation of the National Guideline for Menstrual Hygiene Management issued in 2015. So sisters, let's hope this PIL at least open the eyes of the government and help us what we consider as a right. Hey guys, we the team of DLX Spectrum have made this attempt to create general awareness on contemporary legal issues. Hope this really helps you. Please like this video, share this video and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Thank you.